Hello everyone, and thank you so much for tuning in to ChasingCinema.com's official YouTube channel. I'm your host, Jacob Toronto, and today is day 17 of the 25 days of Christmas movie marathons. That's right, we have 8 days left. It is getting down to the nitty-gritty. Today I'm reviewing a classic, which a lot of you are probably going to have you saying, why are you reviewing that now? Doesn't that play on television 24 hours on Christmas? And yes, it does, but because I like enjoying that movie on Christmas, and it's particularly not my favorite Christmas movie, I decided to watch it a bit early this year. I usually never watch it throughout the year until Christmas because you watch it for 24 hours. But before I get into that review, make sure to tune into my review yesterday as I reviewed A Christmas Carol, the 1951 film starring Alastair Sim. As well, this week I reviewed A Charlie Brown Christmas and Jingle All the Way. You can find those reviews if you find the I in this video right up here over here. You click it, a bunch of links will drop down. You can click any one of them and find the reviews that I've been doing this week. I quickly want to talk about the new children's book illustrated by Eric Moore and written by Sam Mallory, Mrs. Claus and the Frostmen, an original, fresh, new story that tells the story of these characters that seem to be a little bit underrated in your usual Christmas stories. But as you can see, the North Pole might possibly be closed this holiday. So make sure to go check out this book. Eric, you did a phenomenal job with it. Very fresh, very original, very wholesome, very different. And I think that's what we kind of need when every story you've read on Christmas is usually the same. If you are a Las Vegas local, you could find this book at 9770 South Maryland Parkway, Suite number 5, at the Eclipse Art and Beauty Salon. But in case you're not, don't worry, in the description box below, not only do I have the address, I have the Amazon link, so you could order it. Perfect for stocking stuffers or any gifts you want to give to anyone. Make sure to check it out down here in the description box below. All right, that's right. 24 hours a day, this particular movie plays over and over and over and over and over again. That is the 1983 classic, A Christmas Story. The film was directed by Bob Clark. The film stars Peter Billingsley, Melinda Dillon, Darren McGavin, R.D. Robb, Zach Ward. There's a lot of people in this movie. A young boy named Ralphie wants really wants a Red Ryder BB gun for Christmas. And this whole movie follows his determination and his plot to make sure he gets one, even though everyone is reciting the classic line, "You'll shoot your eye out." Actually, this movie is told via narration. Though the film is narrated by an adult Ralphie who's played by Gene Shepard, and narrates his memory of this Christmas, this particular Christmas that would eventually really mean a lot to him and probably be his favorite Christmas of all time. It is also the favorite Christmas for most people, as this film is considered by most the ideal Christmas movie, the greatest Christmas movie ever made. Now, I love this movie, and I really do. I mean, I think this movie has heart, it has comedy, it's nostalgic, it's witty, it's funny, but I can't consider it my favorite Christmas movie of all time. Now, I'll get into what my favorite Christmas movie is on Christmas Day. Actually, I'll be reviewing my favorite Christmas movie. But Christmas Story has a special place in my heart. It is a wonderful film for parents and most adults. This film has a lot of nostalgia feeling to it. They watch this movie and remember a time when there wasn't a television, there was radio and window shopping and being able to walk to school. The stories that most kids hear now and are like, yeah, well, we're growing up in a different time. However, those same kids could really love this movie because we've all, like I said in my Jingle All the Way review, have all wanted something for Christmas, like really wanted it, and have made it our missions to make sure we get it for Christmas. And that's what this movie is essentially about. However, it tackles a lot of different things. I think my favorite element of this movie, though, is the old man, played by Darren McGavin, who is Ralphie's father, and just how he is and how he acts and his interaction with his son. I think, as well as Melinda Dillon, who plays mom, and her reaction and her interactions with her kids. I mean, it's really about this family and each character and how they're all different. And they're all just kind of getting through life in the 1940s. There's school bullies, there's licking light poles. I mean, there's everything you could imagine in this movie. There's the mall Santa Claus, which is probably my favorite part of this entire film. I mean, the mall Santa Claus here is top notch. Billy Bob Thornton's here. This guy's up here. I mean, he literally just kicks this kid in the head, pushes him down a slide. Well, shoves him with his foot. If you want me to be actually accurate. Ho, ho, ho. That's what he does. Ho, ho, ho. Very funny. But, I mean, Ralphie, it's just this kid's joy, this kid's way of seeing things. I love how the movie really kind of uses daydreaming and illustrates it. Ralphie will daydream a lot about. For instance, he gets caught swearing. and he has to hold a bar of soap in his mouth. And that night, as he's crying in bed and really kind of pissed off that he had to do so, he imagines if he's older and he had soap poisoning and he went blind, and how he would feel to make them all feel guilty for what they did. Every kid has kind of thought about things like that, like, oh, I would wish I could get them back and make them feel so horrible. As he's daydreaming about his BB gun that he wants so badly, he thinks about protecting his family from a bunch of bandits. In a very slapsticky way, too. A lot of these daydreams come in a very slapsticky, offbeat, very odd type feeling that's both cheeky and fun. He's dreaming about getting an A on his essay, and his teacher's just writing A+ on the board, and everyone's cheering for him. I mean, the random things that kids think while they're just kind of zoning out. We've all been there. So I think every kid, no matter what age, can really kind of relate to Ralphie. Now, if you're watching this movie, you're not really understanding how it's flowing. It might be a little bit weird, or it might not hit as home as it is, but once you're realizing, like, man, I've daydreamed before, and I've thought of those same things as a kid, and I've had those same feelings as a child, and I've lied to my parents, and I've told them things, or tried to persuade them into things. Yes, and I say lied, I think, at the end of the film, spoiler alert, when Ralphie actually gets his BB gun and shoots his eye out, well, not really, but shoots his eye, breaks his glasses, he comes up with this crazy lie about icicles to make sure that what his parents have been saying, and everyone in the town has been saying for the entire Christmas season, were right. He lies to them to make sure that they don't get that validation. And then that's a wonderful moment in the movie, because I think all kids have done that. I mean, this movie just really kind of has this warmth and feeling to it where you're like, wow, I remember that time. Even, like I said, I was not born in the 40s, obviously. I was born in the 1990s. And I could still watch this movie and be like, I remember that time of being a kid where my friends would be daring each other to do stupid things, and eventually would get someone in trouble, or something would do something too out there. And I remember, telling my parents what I wanted and arguing with them, and just that kind of that time when things were simpler. And I think everyone can relate to that. And I think even adults can watch this movie and feel that way. Besides the Mall of Santa, I think the most beautiful part about this movie is when Ralphie actually gets his BB gun. This whole movie, I don't think anyone really doubted that he was going to get his BB gun, even though everyone in the movie is saying you're not going to get it, which is movie rules, it's basic movie rules. How do you show something? You show the complete opposite the entire way until it. How do you show that Indiana Jones is about to win? He's about to die when he's getting attacked by the Nazis. He's about to die. That's just about when he's going to snap on and win, right? It's the opposite. But it's such a beautiful moment. Ralphie has, well, of course, the infamous bunny scene where he has to wear the bunny outfit, which is humiliating. I think, like, even for me, I watched that scene, I'm just like, God, I'm so embarrassed for this kid. I mean, it's just, he's so miserable in that moment. I mean, even his dad is, luckily, the old man is like, oh, go change. After he's sitting there with his parents, after, of course, the Christmas morning rampage when kids have ripped up everything, his dad just nudges him and says, what's behind that desk? And that's after asking him if he's gotten everything he's wanted, and he said, yeah, pretty much. Or almost. Ralphie goes over to the desk and he gets this package, and his dad is just kind of telling him to open it. And he opens it up, and it's, of course, the BB gun. And it's not like a real emotional moment, but I know when Louis wrote the review for this film, my co-writer Louis Corzola, you can find it at chasingcinema.com. You can find the description. I'll put the link in the description box. He really talks about this being a beautiful scene, as he and his dad watched it recently, about a year or two ago, and they found it to be a very emotional scene, and I did too. His dad just kind of telling him to open it, and he opens it, and without his mom knowing it, he's bought his son this BB gun, and he's opening it, and his dad saying, "Do you know how to load it?" And it's just the back and forth of his dad watching his son be as happy as can be, and that feeling that he's actually gotten what he's really wanted. And it's short-lived, obviously, but it's just such a wonderful moment and a beautiful sentiment. And I think that's why my appreciation went from Ralphie to the old man a lot in this movie, Definitely has his issues. Same thing with the mom. I think the mom is a very strong woman, She has to put up with a lot of crap. There's a beautiful scene in there, which I think constitutes to a lot of mothers, who says she's serving everyone dinner, and as she sits down, someone asks her for something else, and she goes, the narrator goes, "My mom hasn't had a hot meal in years." And I think that's so true for a lot of moms, because they're so worried about everyone else being prepared. So, I mean, there's these small moments in the movie that are really just heartwarming, and just like, wow, man, that's so true. Like, my poor mother would put things on a plate for me for like seconds before she sits down and has her first, right? And I think all moms would do that, and all dads, like, even though they're kind of busy in their own world and somewhat, in their minds are working or fixing up the house, or, in this case, he's one of the best furnace fighters. they really do have, you know, this really great way of kind of showing love and appreciation. And that moment, that, like, you know, you don't really hear his dad say I love you in this film, I think, at all. But like that moment is just like the most beautiful I love you throughout the whole picture. You know, like him and his mom are really close, and she defends him, and you know, she got his back. And him and his dad are cool. I mean, they're not super close like him and his mom. But it's that moment where he's just like, I know you wanted this, and I got it for you. It's like this really heartwarming moment. I'm getting emotional even talking about it. And I know some of you are going to be like, why? It's no big deal. Dad got him a gift. Yeah, but it's more than that. And I think in that moment, that's why it's shot after Christmas. It's not like he just was presented with it. It was something special. He wanted to tell his son to open when his brother was sleeping, and he could just share that moment and watch his son's happiness. And I think that's really what Christmas Story rises from, just being a heartwarming, witty comedy to being like a really beautiful movie. And then them going to the Chinese restaurant, and of course Mom and Pop at the end of the film watching the snow fall. It's a wonderful movie. It really is. It has so much heart and so much care. I mean, as you've seen, I already got emotional talking about it, but it's beautiful. And I don't think anyone has seen this movie. I don't know anyone that doesn't really like this movie. I really don't, because there's so much to enjoy. I mean, there's comedy. There is slapstick humor, a little bit of fantasy. I mean, Wizard of Oz has like this huge presence in this movie. Not that there's anything like really fantasy about it, but like all the daydreams and things like that. Then there's this beautiful, heartwarming thing about family and about being there for each other, and you know, it's just a Christmas memory. To this one character, right? To Ralphie. And Andy is my favorite, mind you. Okay, the old man and Andy, because Andy cracks me up, because I was the little brother. So, like, as much as I can relate to Ralphie, I could totally relate to Ralphie, right? Like, I'm the kid that my brothers left behind as they walked, and I was behind, I fall, and, you know, there's that great scene in the very beginning where he's like, I can't get up! Ralphie! You know, he's all bundled up, and he can't put his arms down, and he's just like, I can't put my arms down. He's such a whiner. On Christmas Day, he goes down, and he's like, oh, this is mine. He's playing with it, and gets pushed. He's like, oh, well, this is mine. And I just totally relate to that, and I love my brothers for that, because they gave me that same feeling. But overall, there's a really nice relationship there, and Andy's really great. But anyway, I mean, this movie really revolves around Ralphie and this adult's reflection on his favorite Christmas. And it's a story of Christmas that he'll always remember because it meant so much to him. And I think we've all had those experiences, and this movie kind of shows us our own experiences just in a very different light. You know, we all can relate to that in a very different way, but it's pretty much the same story. It's a Christmas Story. Let me know how you feel about A Christmas Story down here in a comment section. I want to hear what your thoughts. If you don't like it, I would love to hear from you, because I don't hear many people who don't like this movie. I know they're out there, but let me know down here in the description box, and we'll talk about, or a comment section, and we'll talk about it. Also, make sure to hit the thumbs up. Lets me know I'm doing a good job. Lets me know you're enjoying it. Best way to never miss a review is to hit that subscribe button. Tune in tomorrow, day 18 of my Christmas movie marathon. You're not going to want to miss it. It's going to be getting good soon. Now we're getting down to the nitty-gritty. 7 days left, starting tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning into this video. Again, if you want more information about Mrs. Claus and the Frostman, you could go down here in the description box below. My name is Jacob Toronto, and please continue chasing cinema.